United States submarine base at Key West, Florida. A dispatch that quoted President Truman's press secretary, Charles Ross, as saying that President Truman has no knowledge of any secret project by this government that would give substance to the existence of such objects. Ross also said that both the Air Force and the Navy deny that such objects exist.
Hey, what's up? My name's Noelle, and if you want to hear me have an existential crisis, listen to Patreon. But other than that, do you ever just remember that peanut butter and jelly exists? Like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Yeah, and oh man, I try to live my life in a way where I follow the good path, and I try to be appreciated, and I try to appreciate people. The amount of times that I have slept on the fucking manna that is peanut butter and jelly,
Yeah.
I could go to hell right now.
It's true. It's true. Also, that's Chelsea.
Hi.
But, like, it's so good if you really think about it, because it is, number one, bread. I love bread. Who doesn't love bread? The foundation of life itself, bread. And then you have the absolutely lethal and perfect combination of savory and sweet between peanut butter and jelly. And I prefer strawberry jelly, and
Okay.
I also prefer a bit of a crunchy peanut butter.
I was just gonna say, are you a crunchy or creamy girl?
Crunchy, dude, because
Same.
now we're talking textures.
Yeah.
Now we're elevated. Now we're a Michelin star. And I also toast my bread lightly before turning it into a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Just like one of the absolute fucking boss goat moves is to get an Uncrustable and put it in the fucking toaster for a few.
Oh, dude, when I stumbled across Uncrustables, my mind was blown, and they have
Yeah.
changed my life.
Put an Uncrustable in the toaster for a wee bit, get a bit of crunch on the outside, then you get that like warm, gooey.
Oh my
it
God.
is just like,
Oliver just went to the store, and I
Oh.
only asked him to pick up Reese's for me. I should have gotten fucking Uncrustables.
yeah, you fucked up there. So anyway, I was just thinking about it. I was like, I'm hungry, but not for a meal. I'm hungry, but like a snack isn't enough. And then my brain was like, peanut butter and jelly, bitch. And I was like, oh, you're so fucking right. And then I just remembered it.
Don't have bread. That's the only thing I'm lacking on.
I ran out of bread as well, but I have a tortilla, and babes, you know,
You know what? That's a thing, and you can make a nice peanut butter and jelly wrap.
roll up.
Oh, now
Roll
you're
up. These
talking.
are mini tortillas, so it's a roll up, babes.
See, I can't eat and podcast at the same time because I'm already a mouth breather.
Mhm.
So where I could maybe get away with it, like I had a Reese's peanut butter cup, and you immediately clocked me for how loud I was breathing.
You sounded like fucking Cora. I could hear your asthma through the chewing.
when I say, sometimes I send you and Taylor voice memos through in our group chat, and when I hear myself breathing, I'm like, I've just been sitting here, man, and
It was like
fuck.
that nanosecond where the chocolate was making your like mouth close.
Yeah.
You immediately were gasping for air,
Yeah,
like
like-
through it, and you could hear it through the chewing. It was incredible. You literally sounded like Cora.
Yeah, well, my nose is so stuffed. Like, everyone knows I don't have a naturally nasally voice, but I do have a perpetually stuffed nose. So I just sound ill all the time. But, and there is a bit of pop culture I wanted to ask you.
Okay, hold on. I wanted to send you a picture of the Cora is sleeping on Apollo's bed, and Apollo is curled up on her tiny bed, and it is very cute.
I actually did take a picture. Now Puffin. So all I do now is just stare at my planted tank.
I saw you got shrimp, loser.
Shrimp and fish. We got fish today.
Betas?
No, they're I can't remember what they're called. I want to say they're a tetra, but they're not tetras. But they're kind of like that. Like when you go to Petco and they have the fish tank just full of just tiny little fish that swim around. I got 5 of those. But now Puffin enjoys, I think he's picking up the behavior because I'll just sit in front of the fish tank and watch it. It's so therapeutic. And he absolutely just loves to lay there. Oh, that is cute. But okay, pop culture, and
Yeah.
people might be annoyed at this already, but are you more of a Will Smith or are you more of a Chris Rock?
Here's my whole thing. You should know this too, and listeners should know this. I am an advocate for fuck around and find out.
Yes.
I am an advocate, and some of you also might know. Not a fan of stand-up comedians, honestly.
I thought you were going to say not a fan of Chris Rock. Here's
not
where
a fan
I'm
of stand-up
conflicted.
comedians. Please give me your
Here's where I'm
thoughts.
conflicted. I love watching someone get the fear of God put into them with a good fucking slap.
Yeah.
Where I am more confused is the how do I say this? Chris Rock made a fucking G.I. Jane joke.
Mm-hmm.
Jada Pinkett Smith? Pinkett Smith looked at Will Smith in the eyeballs and told him how she fucked her son's friends, and he just stared at her and cried. If anyone has his wife in their mouth, you following, who needs to get fucking slapped, it's not Chris Rock. I think he slapped him because Chris Rock is little.
I agree with all of these things. I agree with all of these points.
Yeah, I do think that Chris Rock did fuck around a little and find out. Do I think that Will Smith would have slapped anyone else? Probably not.
No. But when you see a good opportunity, you take it. You know, because guess who fucking got his dick sucked so hard he probably time traveled that night?
Oh,
Will Smith.
Well, I was going to say Chris Rock's stand-up comedy show had people standing up, like lining up around the block. They're both doing quite well.
I would say, honestly, here's my thing. First of all, the violence is never an option. A grown man bitch slapped another grown man on live TV. Cry.
Yeah, I genuinely wish that we could do this more often without repercussions, because it's just a fucking slap, man. Where it was a slap between two grown ass men in public, and it was just a fucking slap. The amount of trauma that I could get over, that I could finally find fucking closure for, if I could just
I really do think that while he slapped Chris Rock and Chris Rock made, like, that was a weak, the joke wasn't funny, but it was a weak ass joke. Like, she has alopecia, but it wasn't like, it was just. But she's also, she has alopecia, but then Will Smith has made fun of people with alopecia in the past. So he probably wasn't even mad about that. No, but like.
He got in trouble for laughing.
He did get in trouble for laughing because the dagger eyes that Jada gave him were incredible. And I saw some tweets online that were like, she gave him the look of like, if Tupac was still alive, because that's who she was like dating and fucking back then. They were like, the eyes were like, he wouldn't allow this to stand. Yeah. And I think that telepathically made it to Will Smith. And I also think that Chris Rock was just a stand-in for every man that Jada has slept with that's not Will Smith and who has disrespected their marriage. I think that he was like, and that slap healed them. I really do think that slap healed Will Smith and Jada Pinkett's marriage. Yeah, and
honestly, Will Smith owes him maybe a coffee. I don't think that making fun of or calling someone G.I. Jane, I would take it as a compliment personally, because that movie was cool and Demi Moore is a badass.
Yeah, Demi Moore's hot. Thanks is what you should say. But
yeah. Also, I don't feel bad for rich people.
I don't feel bad for rich people as well.
I don't. So
I think they should slap each other more in front of us.
Yeah. So like,
I want it to be like Gladiator, and we're all in the fucking stands, and it's two billionaires in the middle just slap boxing, and I'm like, yes,
absolutely. Celebrity deathmatch could actually be a thing.
I want IRL celebrity deathmatch. That's the closest we've gotten.
So if I knew someone, just a regular boots on the ground person who had alopecia, and someone made fun of it, I would be fucking furious. Watching an A-list celebrity who's part of Scientology get an off-the-cuff G.I. Jane joke said about him, I don't feel fucking bad in the slightest.
They're not a part of Scientology.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
They 100% are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
You're going to look at me and tell me that they are not part of Scientology?
You're lying.
They give so much money to Scientology. They try to deny it, but they fucking are.
Why do you say that?
Because I know everything
Okay,
about
here's a
this type of stuff.
September 28th, 2001 article from the New York Post. Why Will and Jada are the worst. Scientology kids school, bizarre parenting, and discarded lover. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think they give money to New Village Leadership Academy, which is a private elementary school, and it's a fucking Scientology front. It's where they
Hollywood's
train up.
most dubious enduring duo has been less forthcoming about their now shuttered, allegedly secret Scientology school. In 2017, when former Scientologist Leah Remini claimed that Pinkett Smith was a, quote, longtime down low member, the couple denied any affiliations with the controversial religion. We've never been Scientologists, we've never been swingers, Smith said at the time. Well, that last part's a lie, so who's to say the first part isn't? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And
then they say now, however, Smith has revealed that he and his wife are indeed in an open marriage. Quote, we have given each other trust and freedom. We believe that everybody has to find their own way, and marriage for us can be a prison, Smith told GQ this week. He even admitted that his wife's, quote, entanglement with, what's this guy's name? Al-Satan?
Al-Satan? Oh, I just spilled water everywhere. Oliver, will you bring me a towel?
Made it seem like she was the adulterous one, but, quote, that was not, Smith delicately explained to me, in fact, the case, end quote, the GQ writer noted. Jada never believed in oh my god, stupid ad. Quote, Jada never believed in conventional marriage. Jada had family members that had an unconventional relationship. She grew up in a way that was very different than how I grew up, Smith said. And Smith dropped what could be the most annoying celebrity slang since, quote, conscious uncoupling was made famous by Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin. Quote, there were significant endless discussions about what is relational perfection.
You are detracting from the fact that they give money to the Scientology school.
Well, they're basically trying to say, like, because he lied about this, why would they not? Dude, also, if Leah Remini said it, I believe it.
Google New Village Leadership Academy, and the first fucking picture that pops up is Tom Cruise. It's a Scientology school.
Okay. You know what? You're right. You're right. I don't give a fuck about them. Slap the Scientologists as hard as you want.
I don't feel bad for them.
But the period, point blank, I don't feel bad about either of them. Rich people can slap each other all they want.
I don't feel bad for rich people with alopecia. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad that you can afford any fucking wig you want. I don't feel bad that you can get it treated. I don't feel bad that you have access to all of the highest tiers of beauty standards where you can fit in if you want to. And I don't feel bad that there's emotional repercussion from you being a shitty mom and wife. Like, some of the decisions that they've made are fucking weird. Like that weird nude photo shoot they did with Willow when she was like 12 and there was like a grown-ass like 20-something-year-old in the bed.
What?
That shit's weird, yeah.
Oh my god, that gets me to the Zoe Kravitz thing. But before I say that,
Smith was like, "You're all perverts," and it's like, "She's a child."
Dude, first of all, I will say now my newfound hatred of the Pinkett Smith family. What a pill to swallow, man. But I also don't give a fuck about Chris Rock, because my whole thing is like, if I was at an event and someone made fun of me, I would also hope that my partner would get up and slap the motherfucking shit out of that person.
I already know mine wouldn't, and it hurts me inside. Do you think mine would?
I don't know, maybe. No. I want to think so.
No, he wouldn't.
Why do you say that?
I'll ask him right now. Come here, come in. If someone dissed me the way that Chris Rock dissed Jada Pinkett Smith, would you get up and slap him? Speaking to the microphone.
Absolutely not. It was a great joke.
I see. He wouldn't defend me.
It was not even a great joke.
You're not going to hit someone for a joke.
I think we should more, honestly. Make the joke funny or get hit. Hi, can I ask you a question and it can be recorded?
Yep.
If someone was to make fun of me or make a joke at my expense in front of an audience of people, would you slap them?
I wouldn't slap Chelsea, no.
Not Chelsea.
That's good to know.
Not Chelsea. Not Chelsea. Let's say another
Chris Rock.
man.
Say, ask him if Chris Rock.
A man was making a joke about me in front of...
Yeah, I get where this is going. Yes, I would.
Thank you, babe. I love you.
I love you too.
I would slap someone if they made fun of you too.
But in the same breath, hear me out here.
God, what?
If it was funny enough, I just sit this one out.
That's fair.
That is fair, but okay. I was visibly upset.
If you were visibly upset, I would slap them.
Okay, thank you. That's all I needed to hear. I would more than slap someone if they hurt your feelings. I would beat the motherfucking shit out of them. That's just is what it is. I hope you know that.
Here's
I don't really like the attention of people seeing me slap someone, but if it made you upset, that's my answer, yeah.
Thank you. I love you. I'll talk to you later. We're in the middle of recording.
So here's where I get into that like middle school mentality where I will text Oliver and be like, do you even fucking like me? Because I don't think he does. I genuinely don't think he likes me.
Oh,
and I think
God.
that's why I have the dreams that I have where he's so mean to me. And I wake up and I'm like, that all makes sense now. And then I throw these softball qualifiers at him of like, hey, would you do anything to make me happy? And he's like, fuck no. And I'm like, all right.
But like, did you set the standard back? Because like, Ty very much knows, like, because it's almost happened. Like, a girl has said something rude to him at a bar in front of me, and I was like, I'm going to jail tonight. Like,
Oliver absolutely knows that
you'll throw down.
Oliver has straight up had to tell me like, be nice before.
Wow, that's a problem. You let them have a thought. Like, I think it's a known fact and standard that if someone fucks around and hurts either of our feelings, it's over. Like, we'll step in. It's a tag team death match.
If Ty wasn't there, I'd slap the shit out of someone, fully knowing that they would just nick my jaw a little bit and down I'd go. But it would be the theater of defending you.
Yeah.
So, your partner likes you and mine does not. But how does that feel?
Well, you should also know, I should have asked the follow-up question would be, if someone made fun of Chelsea in front of you and she was visibly upset, would you also slap them? I think he would too. I think he would.
Yeah. So now I'm just hurting my own feelings. Because my partner wouldn't.
Oh my God. Well, just know that he would and I absolutely would too. So
I would do the same for both of you. Like,
thank you.
And I wouldn't only do it if someone was smaller than me. Like, I would at the very least fucking mace them because I have the distance weaponry as well. So
that's true. That is also true. I do have mace on my keychain.
And I've been waiting a long fucking time to missile kick someone. And once the stars align, like if somebody just even side eyes Ty, right, they're getting missile kicked.
Oh man! So at least you have that. That's like that's like 2 out of 3 is pretty good still.
Yeah. Is it? Let's get into the podcast.
Let's talk about the actual. Oh wait, before we go, I wanted to talk about fucking Zoe Kravitz because this all ties into the fucking Jada Pinkett Smith family bullshit. So
what? Catwoman is making an appearance now?
Oh God, dude. So, as you may know, since the Batman, Zoe Kravitz, notorious hot girl, has been taking the internet by storm. Everyone being like, even a joke being made on Twitter was like, if someone was to like, I wouldn't allow someone to bitch slap me in the same room that Zoe Kravitz is in. All this shit, right?
That's fair.
And you're like, fair.
Yeah.
And then I truly think, let me put my tinfoil hat on. Hold on, I'm wrapping it and putting it on my head. Zoe Kravitz came out and made a statement where she was pro Chris Rock. And magically, an article appeared from years ago in which she is quoted verbatim about how she was flirting with and attracted to a then 14-year-old Jaden Smith. And she was either 23 or 25 when this was happening.
Dude, well,
and even in the article, she's like,
giving a shit.
I know.
They don't care if like older people are chilling out with their children.
Yeah, and in the interview, she even is like, I had to keep checking myself that like, oh, you're not even 18. Like all this weirdo shit, dude.
That's weird.
Yeah. So anyway, she's fucking done. She's done. So that's the wrap up on that. And I'm like, oh, how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah. Whoops. People just need to shut the fuck up. We can have opinions because we're the poors.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were there, you don't get to have an opinion. You just go,
Yeah.
"That was crazy, man." That's all you say.
You just make a face in a photograph and then never make a comment
this
about
face.
it ever again.
You
And
do, "Oh," and then you pull your collar. That's it.
That's all you do. But yeah, so she said that, and then mysteriously and magically, some fucking article from like 2015
whoops.
pops up where she talks about being sexually attracted to a fucking 14-year-old.
That's gross.
I know.
It's gross on two tiers. It's gross because it's a child. It is also gross because it's Jaden Smith.
Oh man! And then someone posted a picture of what Jaden Smith looked like at 14, and it's a full ass child, and you're like,
Karate Kid era, basically, right?
God, yeah,
Little string bean. That's gross.
literally.
Really.
So,
You have
anyway.
the audacity to say that when you stand across from Robert Pattinson, and I know these interviews were years apart, but that's how encompassing Robert Pattinson's beauty is it affects you. It transcends time.
That's true. That's true.
Puffin, I'm going to fling you into the moon. Stay out of the garbage. Sorry. He was just being so bad.
I have never heard that.
God. He's like walking up within arm's distance and getting stuff out of my garbage, and I'm gently pushing him away, and I've done it like 40 times now.
I've never heard that. I always say, like, I'm going to throw you out the window. I'm going to throw
Not
you off
fling
the
you into the
balcony.
moon.
I'm going to throw you off the roof.
Just grab his two little feet and do like a discus throw.
That's exactly what I imagined. And also, the way you said it was so, like, matter of fact and also sweet. Like, Puffin, I'm going to fling you to the moon.
Now he's like fucking squared up in the hallway like he's going to fight me too.
Dude, when I tell my dogs I'm going to throw them out the window, it's usually, like, in a more angered tone. It's like, I'm going to throw you out the fucking window.
Yeah, dude.
Because
He's
they're, like,
squared
getting the
up.
zoomies on my face as I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah.
Yours was very kind.
God. He's acting like a little bastard today. Like what he does, what I say is he acts like an orphan. He's acting like a fucking orphan.
Oh my god. Fling you out of the moon.
All right, let's talk about the episode.
Okay. Get
Just
it over with.
So, speaking of children, 10-year-old Greg Garrett.
Oh my god, that's almost the age that Zoe Kravitz is.
Yeah, Zoe Kravitz would think he was so hot. So this child that Zoe Kravitz wants to bang was enjoying a tepid spring evening at the end of April 1973 in Enfield, Illinois. The idea small town was surrounded by vast green farms, and with a population of less than 800 people, it was a sort of suburban paradise that parents in the Midwest absolutely loved. And it goes without
Hold on,
saying.
I need you to keep talking.
Okay.
Cora is being so fucking loud.
This episode is chaos. It's just chaos.
It's so bad I can hear her through my headphones. I'm gonna go lock her in my room. Hold on.
I'll just keep talking. So it goes without saying that Greg Garrett's parents were surprised when their son suddenly burst through the door claiming that he had just been attacked. After seeing that their son appeared to have been viciously stomped on, Greg's parents called the police, who quickly came to their home, but they couldn't find any trace of the boy's attacker. It was only a half hour later when a neighbor of the Garretts, a retired veteran and antiques dealer named Henry McDaniel, heard a strange scratching noise on his screen door. McDaniel originally didn't pay too much attention to
Was it Zoe
scratching.
Kravitz at the
It was
screen
Zoe
door?
Kravitz. She's like, "Do you have kids inside?
Let me in. The 14-year-old.
Are they hot?" So Henry didn't originally pay too much attention to Zoe Kravitz just lurking around like a fucking creep. But it was his children lamenting that it could be a stray dog or even worse, a bear, that finally pushed him to go get his gun and investigate what was pawing at his house. And when he opened his door, he didn't see a dog or a bear like he expected. And he instead saw, and this is a quote from Henry McDaniel directly, that it had 3 legs on it, a short body with 2 little short arms coming out of its breast area, and 2 pink eyes as big as flashlights. It stood 4.5 feet tall and was a grayish color, and it was trying to get into the house.
It's just like a stray dog with pink eye.
Yeah.
It's a
It was
tripod
just probably
dog.
me with pink eye.
It's true. With your double pink eye, that
Yeah.
could be you.
I was so special. I'm good at something.
Getting double pink eye.
Yeah. And having it for weeks.
And then going to a doctor who just told you to sleep it off.
Well, good luck with that. McDaniel was immediately taken off guard, and once the creature let out an ear-piercing hiss like a mountain lion, McDaniel started shooting at the beast.
Can I say a few things here?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen, probably because I'm assuming you're on Cryptid Talk, videos of people being like, that's a fucking chupacabra, that's a fucking wendigo, and it's clearly just a mountain lion screaming, because like when mountain lions scream, they sound like small children. Like,
or like a rabbit screaming even sounds like a murdered woman.
Yeah, they sound like a wailing ghost that haunts a manor. Like, and you can see it. Like, you can watch live footage of an actual like mountain lion and these horrific, ghostly, ghastly noises coming out of them.
I wonder if I can pull it up. Mountain lion screaming is not something that I've been super into, but what I've been watching a lot lately are like siren sounds where men
from the ocean?
Yeah.
When the fisherman boats.
Yeah, those are fucking me up. All right, wait, I found a scream. That's a mountain lion.
Yeah. And you could probably see the actual mountain lion in which the scream is coming from. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of those hunter cams where they like put them up.
They literally scream like a woman being murdered.
Yeah.
But yeah, to your point, I have also been seeing the videos of like dudes on lobster boats out in the middle of the fucking ocean in the dead of night, and their fucking like, siren calls.
It's like so fucking faint, but you hear it. Those have been messing me up. I've also found my way onto mermaid TikTok, where people are like, apparently there was a user on TikTok who was like, yes, I see mermaids, like here are my depictions and like pictures of them, and that person just fucking vanished.
Yeah, like, because they started taking their medication.
You know,
I did also see something online that was like, we always know when our friend has stopped taking her medication because she changed her profile picture to Lady Gaga. She thinks she's Lady Gaga.
I love that for her.
So that's also that person who's like, yeah, I see mermaids. And then finally their fucking mom was like, oh my God, 6 weeks off the meds, got them back on, and they're back to working their coding job Monday through Friday.
Fascinating. But, I mean, the thing screamed right in his face. So pretty fair that it probably wasn't a mountain lion. But
maybe it was a mountain lion with mange.
Maybe. But he started shooting the fuck out of it, and he hit it a few times. And he described the creature's response to being shot as a frenzy. And now I know.
Oh, really?
I was gonna say.
You don't say.
I was gonna say. You're gonna obviously say, yeah, it got shot, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
But I don't mean like, I feel like when something gets shot, it will like either run away or it will be wounded and kind of fall over. Instead, what this thing started doing was it started like rolling around and like kind of raving and like contorting itself in very weird ways.
Speak for yourself, bitch. That's how I would react if I got shot. I would be putting on a fucking performance. I would be like, this is the theater.
I would just let out one long forlorn sigh and just be like, of course. That would be mine. I'd be like, that. And then I would call an Uber and see if an Uber would take me to the hospital.
Because it is cheaper than an ambulance.
Cheaper and probably faster.
Even during the high pricing.
Yeah.
Still
even
cheaper.
Pricing, still cheaper. But it was in between its writhing and its wiggling around. It also would jump a whopping 75 feet up into the air.
How does anyone even know what 75 feet in the air is?
Mr. McDaniel would know.
He's 10.
No, you were gone for that part. Greg Garrett got attacked by something that fucking stomped him, and he ran inside and told his parents, and his parents called the cops, and then a half an hour later, one of his neighbors, Henry McDaniel, dealt
with it. Okay.
Yeah. So this is up the road. This is one of their neighbors dealing with it now.
Okay, so this is a grown-ass man who can't read past the third grade level.
He was a veteran.
But he knows 75 feet in the air.
So he's a retired veteran and an antique stealer. So he has his faculties about him. He's also like a father and I assume responsible because his children love him. So eventually it scuttled off into the darkness and McDaniel quickly called the police to report what he had seen. And lucky for him, they were still up the road at his neighbor's house listening to the ramblings of the 10-year-old boy who was telling them about the same three-legged creature that had attacked him in his own backyard. So the police got to McDaniel's house and quickly discovered the evidence of the creature's presence. They found footprints measuring 4 inches wide, and initially they thought that they could have belonged to a large dog. However, a dog's paw prints only host 4 toes. This mysterious creature had a total of 6 toe pads.
That's nothing to write home about. I watched a dog online get like its whole other mini little paw removed.
Oh,
Yeah.
it had
It's
like an
cute.
extra paw? Why would they
Yeah,
remove
growing
it?
off of the back paw.
Was
Like
it
if you were to
hurting
have an
it?
extra thumb, but
Yeah,
it was
but you
an
can leave
entire
those.
mini paw. No,
Well,
they got it off because they wanted it to look cute. It was a Frenchie. I said leave it.
fair.
I say
Yeah.
leave it.
leave
but
it
they
and
took it
call
off.
it like
Hansy
something.
McGee.
Hansel. So they also mapped out the gait of the 3-legged creature, noting that one of the limbs appeared to be much smaller than the other 2. And lastly, the most permanent piece of evidence was the large scratch marks on the side of McDaniel's house. And regardless of the evidence and 2 witnesses, the police still weren't really buying the story of the victims quite yet. But they soon would, because the newly dubbed ENFIELD creature wasn't quite done terrorizing the area yet anyway. So, flash forward to May 6th at 3 a.m., and Henry McDaniel was woken up from a dead sleep by the sound of his neighbor's dog barking. He tried to close his eyes, hoping that the dog would calm down, but its barking got only more and more frantic. So Henry wearily sat up in bed, put on his glasses, and went to see what all the commotion was about. Pushing open his door and staring at the railroad tracks next to his home, McDaniel was once again staring face to face with the ENFIELD creature. Entranced, he watched the terror walk along the railroad tracks for a few minutes, taking in its movements and drowning out the noise of the dogs barking. And after a while, the creature startled at something and quickly darted off into the night. Word soon got out about McDaniel's second sighting of the ENFIELD creature, and people started lingering around his property, hoping to catch a glimpse themselves.
Quick cue.
Yeah.
Have you looked up a picture of this before?
I have. I actually put one at the very end of the document.
Let me take a little look-see. Because, yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that's not what the internet is showing me. The internet is showing me more of like a griffin, but rather than like an eagle head, it's a fucking dog head or a fox head.
I just pulled that up. I think you're looking at, what is it, the heraldry of it.
You're
the coat
looking
of
at
arms
like
thing.
a little bit. This is okay.
You're looking at the wrong thing.
You're looking at an evil foreskin.
Yeah, so what I would describe the ENFIELD creature, like do ENFIELD creature and then Illinois. That will probably pull up the right thing. The ENFIELD creature looks more like the Cloverfield creature, but with 3 legs. And it has like 2 strong like hind legs, and then it has like a shitty little third arm that just kind of flip-flops around that it sometimes uses, but it's not like where it bases like most of its stance on.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well,
so
it's not cute. Anyway, go on.
it is not cute. This is not going to earn a place in my heart.
It's not going to get a plushie to put on your shelf.
No. If I wanted a plushie of it, it's exactly how you described it. I would just get a foreskin and glue like chicken legs to it.
Yeah, exactly.
So word soon got out about McDaniel's second sighting of the ENFIELD creature, and people started lingering around his property, hoping to catch a glimpse of it themselves. And although the small town newspapers had been following the story and publishing updates, no one was really prepared for the level of publicity that began pouring into the area. McDaniel had already been a pretty private man, and he was even at more of a loss when the local sheriff showed up at his front door and warned him to stop spreading these rumors, and directly blamed McDaniel for all the weirdos now sleuthing around asking about aliens, Bigfoots, and other cryptids. Could you imagine like minding your own business all the fucking time? And then
Like I do.
Yeah, and then the cops come over and they're like, you better mind your business. And you're like, I
I'm
don't know
like,
what to do.
What else do I do? What more do I have to do?
It's
Go
like I'm being
underground?
terrorized in my home. Like I'm calling the police because there's a thing trying to claw its way in, and when I shoot it, nothing happens, but it flips the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless of the sheriff's warnings, amateur monster hunters came to Enfield, armed to the teeth, hoping to catch the mysterious monster themselves. And now it could have been that more people meant more sightings, or that the atmosphere of the town was pushing through paranoia, but more encounters with the Enfield creature did start to get reported. 2 hunters named Roger Tapp and Mike Mogul reported seeing a deformed and large gray monkey crossing their path while out on a hunt. In another case, a group of 5 hunters were arrested for opening fire too close to a public area. And in this incident, the men claimed that there was a great creature who scuttled by them in the woods, frightening the group, who then opened fire on the thing. And despite pressure from the police and interviews, the entire group kept to their story, and they all maintained that whatever it was, their bullets had no effect on it whatsoever. So now, obviously, the locals were freaking out.
Sure.
Not only, and I looked up the, like, at the highest, the, like, Enfield's population was, like, 800 people. Like, very small town, and all of a sudden it's flooded. But not only was their town overrun with monster hunters, but they were worried that these Enfield sightings were causing people in the area to become extremely trigger happy.
This is like the first time a town that has like a cryptid sighting has come out to say this, the thing that we are all thinking. There are too many middle-aged, divorced dads running around in chacos and polo tees with shotguns.
Yeah,
It's
they're
too
moving.
many.
They've got their Crocs in sport mode.
Yeah, it is becoming a bit much.
Well, and they're shooting
are
in the
a
middle
lot.
of town.
Yeah, in this town of 800 people, so
Yeah.
it's one single town square on a Tuesday evening
Yeah.
contains the entirety of the fucking county.
Yeah, they could wipe out the whole, like a whole family, generations of just terror.
There is just too much Caucasian Patagonia going around right now, and for what?
People
I
with
will
the
say,
disposable
though,
income to not need to go to work.
let's really dig into that. Let's really think about that for a second. Is that this town in the middle of nowhere was overrun by a bunch of people who live such a luxurious life that they can be part-time monster hunters.
That's all I want. Every time I read a story like this and it's like, oh, they sent the recording to local cryptozoologist. Why the fuck am I not the local cryptozoologist?
I think you just say you are and then you are.
Okay, well then I'm putting that on my LinkedIn, and I hope no one gets mad at me and tattletales on me.
They fucking might. But
because-
go outside with the intention of looking for Bigfoot. Guess what? You're a cryptozoologist.
But I feel like the amount, man, What am I about to
What do you
say?
think these men did?
What am I about to say? I feel that you and I are cryptid experts, and I'm sick of nobody recognizing us for that.
I think that's a valid point.
Because when I see what some of these people say, it's very similar to Comic-Con, right? When we go to a panel and it's like, I know more than this person. I deserve to be on the panel. We're lucky enough to be in a situation where we are on panels.
Sure.
And we know everything that we need to know, and nobody's flexing on us. If I can flex on these people, I'm furious. I'm furious. And I just want, I'm gonna make a shirt. I'm gonna make business cards and just say I'm a cryptozoologist.
Well,
I'll
here's the
make
thing
some
about
for
a
you
business
and some
card.
for
The
me.
only thing stopping you is printing them offline.
The only thing stopping me is that I accidentally bought everyone's food at the bar this weekend, and it was expensive.
Text Ty, he needs to Venmo you.
No, it's okay. I had mentally prepared to pay, but I think what happened was I drank your Bloody Mary because you didn't like it.
You did.
And
They did
I
put
haven't-
too much horseradish in that.
And I haven't had like liquor in months, and I was so fucked up that I went to that same dark place that I had been in when I lied and told everyone I had all this like money saved up to go to New
Do
Mexico.
people know about this story?
I don't know, man, but I was in the
Let me
same
give you
spot.
let me give you a quick little summary. For no reason other than her own, completely unprompted. One
Was it a
snowy
Christmas sock
evening.
party? It was
Yep.
a Christmas sock party.
One snowy evening at a Christmas gift exchange, which was a sock exchange at a local bar, beer bar to be exact for the locals.
The beer bar.
Once again, unprompted, but intoxicated.
Yeah.
Chelsea makes an announcement that that not only does she have like money saved away
Yeah.
for an investigative alien trip to New Mexico?
Mhm.
But that she also has all of the tools that
Yeah.
one might need for said ufologist investigation.
And I did have the tools saved
In
in
New
an
Mexico.
Amazon wish list. I
She
showed
did
it
have
to
a wish list,
everybody.
and she did show it to everybody, and it
Yeah.
did have all the things.
Yeah.
But the second part to this story is that there was no
lie.
money,
No.
and there were no purchases.
No.
She
There's
very
nothing.
much Anna Delvey'd herself, but rather
Yeah.
than taking advantage of rich people in New York, she was trying to become a ufologist in front of her friends.
Yeah. I was like, you don't know this, man. I secretly have a lot of money. And like, I don't even need to work at this point. And I need to show you what I got going on. And people are buying it because like I had become so fucked up that I transcended that level of drunk where you're sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just, my body was awake, but my
Sure.
brain was asleep. So
Yeah.
no one could tell until I don't even know how I got exposed, but I had to apologize to people. I was like, I'm very sorry.
Yeah, you were getting ready to do like a Robinson Crusoe or whatever, like
Yeah.
full blown. I'm getting the band to go to New Mexico and find
Yeah.
aliens, and everyone was like, "Well, let me just when should I take days off? Like, let me know.
Yeah.
I'll put it in
Oh my
Paycom right
God.
now." Didn't exist. None of it existed.
It was a big fucking lie. It was
She
such a lie.
transcended
I don't even know
drunkenness
why
and
I
went to
did it.
delusion.
Man, but I still have I don't know if I have that Amazon account anymore, but like the weaponry was cool. I had like an electric bow staff saved in there.
Yeah. You know
Like, I
what other
found good-
weaponry is cool?
And Wolverine claws, yeah, and night vision
A healthy
goggles.
dose of Wellbutrin to keep you
Just-
fucking
yeah,
on track.
Oh my god, yeah, that was bad. I see pictures of myself that night and I look normal. But if you zoom in on my eyes, they are just black. Just- the soul
Yeah.
left the body. Yeah. So
But to your point, to this point, you don't have to go out and buy a fucking 20-foot long cattle prod to be a ufologist. You can just print a business card and get a fucking free WordPress site and make it happen.
Yeah.
Clearly, you buy the bullshit they're selling when they've got fucking neon green text floating across the screen.
yeah. And I know how to like build websites.
Yeah. It's what you do in your job.
It is what I do. I'm
So.
going to make us a website and I'm going to have a sub page that's just all my accolades and credentials about how I am Utah's #1 prominent cryptozoology expert.
I think you
Prove
should
me
say
wrong.
that.
I'm going to.
I think you
That's
should.
what I'm going to do.
Okay.
As soon as I financially recover from all the bullshit that I thought I I will say, going back to Enfield, more people coming to the area just caused more rumors, and then more people came to the area, which just caused more rumors.
Mm-hmm.
But the reign of terror of the Enfield creature was slowly coming to an end. Rick Rainbow, I looked him up, he is real,
I was going to say fake name.
was the news director of WWKI Indiana in the 1970s and decided that he wanted to see what all the buzz was about with Enfield. So he was part of a four-man group who came to the area with some recording equipment, hoping to get tangible evidence of the creature once and for all. And they loitered around Henry McDaniel's property for a few days until they noticed a gray lump of fur hanging out around an abandoned house only a few lots down from McDaniel's. And as they got closer, they witnessed the creature kind of trot back and forth from the house a few times into the woods, and it kept doing this over the course of a couple of hours. And the entire group was absolutely shocked to see the speed of the creature. Rainbow went on to say that there was no way that this thing could have been human, since he has never seen anything run that fast in his entire life.
Because he's seen Usain Bolt. It's a pretty bold fucking statement to make.
Plus, you are from Illinois, my dude. Not known for runners.
Yeah, not the fastest people in America, but
No, not the fastest. In recording the entire experience, Rainbow caught one blood-curdling wail of the creature before it finally ran into the woods, never to be seen by the same locals again. Never. But Rainbow wasn't done there, though. He took his recording of the scream and sent it off to Lauren Coleman. And if Lauren Coleman sounds familiar, it is because he is a prominent writer in the cryptid scene and has been for a while. And he was actually the author of the 1974 Fate magazine Enfield article called Swamp Slobs Invade Illinois.
That's a rude thing to call white people.
Yeah. Yeah. But also astute and accurate.
Also very on the nose and descriptive.
We should make swamp
slobs.
shirts.
Yeah, swamp slobs invade.
Yeah. Resident swamp slob.
That's a good one.
Oh, that is a good one. So Coleman listened to the recording of the creature and was taken in by its authenticity. And I will say I tried to find it. It has since been lost.
Sounds authentic.
Yeah. But although he couldn't identify the noises in the recording, he was surprised it was nothing he had heard before. So intrigued, he and another cryptozoologist named Richard Crowe went to Henry McDaniel's house to investigate further. And while there, he heard the wails of the Enfield Terror himself, stating, quote, I traveled to Enfield, interviewed the witnesses, looked at the siding of the house, the Enfield monster had damaged, heard some strange screeching banshee-like noises, and walked away bewildered. See, that's bullshit. I would have taken that whole experience and turned it into a podcast.
Well, this was what, the 70s?
I don't care. They had access to a radio show. They were friends with Rick Rainbow.
That's true. They should have contacted Rick Rainbow. Yeah. What else is going on in Illinois?
Nothing.
The assassination of Abraham Lincoln?
We've been over that for years now. Was that really where he got assassinated at?
I think that's where he's from. I don't know where he got assassinated.
Where?
Yeah, look it up.
Lincoln die? I thought he died in the South.
What is it?
The Peterson House. Where the fuck? The Peterson House, Washington, D.C. Where
also,
was Lincoln?
What the fuck? He's not even born. He was born in Kentucky?
LaRue, Kentucky? Kentucky?
What? I thought it was Springfield, Illinois.
Which president is from Illinois?
Is this a Berenstain Bears situation? Is this
Ronald Reagan was the only one to be born in Illinois.
What? Springfield, Illinois is like where Abraham Lincoln is from.
No, you're thinking of The Simpsons.
No. What?
What? I don't even know. You're saying Springville or Springfield?
Yeah, Springfield.
I think
Springfield, Springfield, Illinois. Was Abraham Lincoln born in Illinois or Kentucky?
He was born in
Abraham
Kentucky.
Lincoln was born on Sunday, February 12th, 1809, in a log cabin on his father's Sinkin Spring farm.
You're thinking of Robert Todd Lincoln.
In what was at the time Hardin County, today LaRue County in Kentucky.
You're thinking of Robert Todd Lincoln. His son was born in Springfield. That's a really weird thing to know. I had to Google famous people from Springfield, Illinois, and number 2 is Robert Todd Lincoln.
Wow, weird. Okay, so he moved to Illinois. Maybe Illinois was where he started his presidential campaign.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, because he had to have been if that's where he had his son.
His son was born August 1st, 1843. That is not that long ago.
Yeah, dude, American history is like a fart in the timeline of things.
I know, it's still lingering in the air. All right, well.
Anyway.
More you know. So eventually, the crypto community moved on to different sightings in the area. And although there were more sightings of the Enfield beast, it never got back to the same popularity as it was when Henry McDaniel first reported seeing it. And although appearances of the creature died down, there were similar reports from witnesses seeing a gray monster in southern Illinois for the rest of the 1970s. Coleman reported that in Murfreesboro, a small town roughly 61 miles from Enfield, a couple named Randy Needham and Judy Johnson were parked near a boat ramp near Big Muddy River. That's the name of it.
Original.
Yeah. So suddenly they heard an ear-splitting shriek of what they initially thought could have been an injured mountain lion, despite the amplitude of its cry. And suddenly a gray-haired monster lunged out of the nearby trees and sprinted towards them. The couple jumped back into their vehicle and headed straight for the police station. And the cops did report to the boat ramp, and similar to Henry McDaniel's experience, they saw all the evidence of a monster, including footprints in the mud featuring an erratic gait, and evidence that the creature had 3 legs instead of 2. Despite the evidence, however, there was nothing they could do, and they wrapped up the case with a big fat question mark.
I mean, what did they? Oh, here's a real thought. What the fuck are they supposed to do? This is just like, has anyone gotten their car broken into before? And you call the cops, and they literally write the case number down on a McDonald's napkin and hand it to you, and be like, okay,
Yeah, they're like, there you go.
there it is.
Yeah.
Like, or if you're like, someone stole something from me, they're like, did you see them? No,
Like,
okay.
man, that's crazy.
That's
And they
wild. Okay,
yeah.
well, bye.
Like, it really do be like that, though. You're
Like,
"I
is it
guess."
because, like, movies have made police seem like fucking noir-style detectives that they think they're gonna do
Where they
anything?
care?
Yeah, they don't fucking
They don't
care.
care about this.
They're not gonna investigate this. They barely investigate murders. They don't
Yeah.
even investigate domestic violence. They don't give a fuck about your foreskin monster.
No, they don't. In fact, they're happy, finally, that there's something in the area that they can start blaming all the other domestic violence cases on.
It's
They're like,
true.
he didn't hit her, it was the dick monster.
It's so true. I always love this, like in specifically cryptid cases, because of course it always hurts differently when we're covering true crime. But when it's like cryptid cases and like no one gets hurt, it's just like a weird dick monster running around, leaving its fur and footprints everywhere, and people are like, and the police did nothing. Versus what? When they do
Yeah.
something? Like, when does that happen?
Well, they definitely didn't go above and beyond.
They sure don't.
They did the
babes.
bare minimum.
They
of their
barely
job
do that.
expectations.
Come on.
But there were more and more cases popping up in Illinois with the same standard MO. Someone would hear a noise when they were suddenly ambushed by a gray creature with 3 legs. And despite police reporting to the scene, there was nothing that they could do, and the cases went nowhere.
Yeah, no shit, buddy.
So, interestingly enough, however, there was the fact that some of the cops were noticing other similarities in the crime scene. So, wherever this Enfield terror popped up, a thick black goo was left behind. And police dogs would hesitate when passing over the goo, but during all their tracking, cop nor canine found anything. And it is interesting here that the black goo is something that we've seen in other sightings of strange cryptid creatures. Remember with the Flatwoods monster?
I do.
It also let out an ear-piercing scream, and it left black goo in the area. Another creature we've spoken about was the Dover demon, which also appeared gray in color and moved in a very erratic run. So in his articles for Fate magazine, Coleman made a point to interview some of the police who had responded to calls about the Enfield terror. So from UFO Insight, quote, according to police chief Toby Berber, they didn't know what the creature is, but we do believe that what these people saw was real. He would go on to state that these are good, honest people and that they are seeing something. Which I feel like is good. At least they're acknowledging, yeah, they saw something. So now there is a reason why a lot of these cryptid sightings tend to occur in roughly the same geographical area in the United States. So this particular area of Illinois has long been referred to as the Devil's Kitchen, due to the fact of the terrifying things that seem to happen with no real explanations. Lauren Coleman specifically focused a good part of his research on the Illinois, Oklahoma, Indiana, and Missouri regions, writing that the creatures reported are almost always bipedal, hairy, and subhominid in general appearance. Their color is variously as white, gray, or brown. Their eyes are usually pink or red and glow in the dark. And what makes this even stranger, Coleman reports, is the high number of UFO sightings that occur in conjunction with the Enfield terror's presence. In fact, it's hard to name any sort of cryptid and not stumble upon UFOs. So for example, like Bigfoot is always spotted in areas where there's lights in the trees. Skinwalker Ranch is like the quintessential example of UFO activity.
Yeah.
Even missing 411 encounters, like weird activity like fog popping up in areas where there's normally not fog. Just strange natural occurrences that people can't explain, and whenever these like mysterious sightings occur. So there were, of course, people who tried to dismiss these sightings en masse. And strangely enough, the most common explanation that people were giving for the Enfield terror was that it was an escaped kangaroo.
Do they have kangaroos in Illinois?
I think the reclusive brown kangaroo of Ohio actually is one.
Oh yeah. Or is it more of
so
like it could seem like
stupid.
a state that does allow legal truck
Yeah.
stop zoos.
Yeah.
And I could see them having a kangaroo that was like dying and maybe
Yeah.
could be. I could
A little
see that.
rabid, perhaps.
Yeah, a little mangy, a little one-eyed, a little wonky,
Yeah.
for sure.
And Henry McDaniel, he could never put his finger on what it was that he saw, but he was very adamant that there is no way it was a kangaroo because he was face to face with this thing. And others have also claimed that if an escaped kangaroo could be the culprit, then it's just as likely that it could have been maybe an albino ape that
Sure.
escaped from someone's private collection. Other boring explanations are that people saw a mountain lion, horse, dog, calf, deer, or bears. But the problem with all of these is that they don't fit the bill of what witnesses saw and consistently reported. So, what exactly could it be? As we said earlier, it looks a little bit more like the Cloverfield monster,
Hmm.
and it doesn't really resemble any sort of animal I would expect to see in the world.
No, it looks like a mean, evil foreskin with two deformed dinosaur legs and chicken paws.
Yeah, it's very uncute. And more fringe ideas from the cryptid community are that if it isn't a cryptid, then it's either got to be a demon, an alien, or a genetic experiment gone wrong. I like cryptid. I don't like demon. I don't necessarily like alien.
Demon and alien are no's for me. Demon especially because it's not real.
Genetic
Alien,
experiment could be fun.
I could think about that. It's like the vengeance of forced circumcision.
Yeah, like enough little circumcised foreskins came together in like one
Yeah.
of their shitty rivers full of nuclear sludge. And then
Yeah.
it was like blah, blah, blah,
That's
like
what the black
sand.
sludge is. It's
Yeah.
the nuclear waste from the foreskin ripper.
But yeah, that's it. And I was actually surprised at how prominent a lot of these sightings are. I cut out maybe like 15 sightings because I could not, like, I don't know, we're not going to read 6 hours worth of like sightings of this, but they are
Yeah.
fucking everywhere.
I bet.
Of people reporting the same thing. And now that I'm thinking about it, like Flatwoods Monster and the Dover Demon do have some of the similarities to this. Another thing that I saw that was actually kind of cool was with the way that it jumped and kind of screeched, people were saying that this might be the United States version of Spring Hill Jack. Which was like the weird London guy who was bouncing around and people thought maybe it could have been the devil. But they were
Yeah.
like, that would explain, like, if this Enfield Terror had been more in Victorian times, how would it have been described? It jumps high in the air, it screeches, it leaves really strange, deformed footprints. It doesn't
Yeah.
seem to be of this world. They would
Yeah.
describe it as like the fucking devil, man. The
Yeah.
same way that they describe Spring Hill Jack.
His Spring Hill Jack had clawed hands, red eyes. Huh. Interesting. Okay.
So maybe something came over on the Mayflower, dare I
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
and had to like evolved in a really shitty way or like got fucked up in the American wilderness. Like it couldn't handle our megafauna that we have, and it was injured.
It also got one of those diseased blankets from the Pilgrims.
Yeah, it was also a victim of the white people. But kind of fun. I encourage people to look this one up. Make sure
Yeah,
if you're
look it
looking
up
for-
visually. It's disgusting.
Make sure you're doing like the Enfield creature of Illinois because
Yeah,
it
if
is
not, you're going to look
obviously
at a
different.
griffin that's kind of cute.
Yeah, like a little fox griffin. Very cute.
Yeah.
Um,
A little bit of a follow-up for you here.
Uh-huh.
Abraham Lincoln ran out of Illinois.
oh,
That's why I
okay.
know that. That's why that's in my brain. Just so you know.
I was
Just so you know, I'm not thinking about his son. It did have a reason why it was there.
I could have left it as the son. I also could have left it that you were just thinking about The Simpsons.
I'm not.
But I
totally
also wouldn't have
stupid.
thought about it ever again.
Well, I
So-
was thinking about it because I was like, why do I associate Abraham Lincoln with Illinois? And honestly, it's good reason. Speaking of things that we care about, oh, here we go. The laundry list. I am at Noelle Fain. That is at Sithlard on everything. Twitter, Instagram. I don't really use Facebook. Don't talk to me there. But where you find us there, you can also find the podcast at Go to Hell. I think is it at Go to Hell podcast? Fuck, now I forget. Now look what you've made me do. You've made me forget. It is at Go to Hell podcast. Yeah, okay, you guys, I got it. No big deal. Don't worry about me.
Fine. It's fine.
When you're there on any of the at Go to Hell podcast pages, you can or our pages, you can find a link to a link tree in our bios. This will redirect you to our Discord group, Facebook group, our merch page where you can get sorry, I had a cough deep inside of me. Where you can get some merch for the Protect Trans Kids fundraiser we're doing right now, and especially today on this day, which is International Transgender Day of Visibility. Please go donate to that. You don't even have to get a shirt from us, honestly. You can even just go to TFP and donate to them directly, which is the Transformations Project. Or, of course, you can jump on our merch site and grab one of those sick fucking tees. You guys are posting pics, and it looks dope. We also have a new design up, the Enemies of the State, the Apostates of the State, which is another great one, because fuck this place. In that bio, you can also find a link to Kelly Holloran or at Wildwood Owls Etsy, where you can get stickers and pins. And most importantly, our favorite thing, you can find a link to our Patreon, where $1 gets you in. You do sign an NDA. Please don't share our secrets. There were a lot of them today. But new episodes every week there.
And we've sold 29 shirts raising money for trans kids. Made about $150 that we're donating.
Hell yeah, let's keep it up.
So
keep it up,
great.
and seriously, keep posting and sharing your pictures in them. It's been super great to see. Also, stay active in your communities, you guys. Check out where legislation changes are happening through TFP's site. Get involved, take action. That's how this shit stops. Be a big voice.
Yes.
And don't stop just because it gets a little hard. It's your job to fight the fight for these kids who don't have the legal means to fight for themselves right now. So yeah, that's basically that. Protect trans kids, you guys. And today, just like every day, most importantly, hail Satan.
Hail foreskins, man. Been kind of rough on them.
That's fair.